The old house stood alone, high on Hollow Hill. Wind howled through broken windows. A cold white mist clung to the rotting wood. No one dared go near. They said it was haunted by the ghosts of the family who died there. My name is Billy. I loved scary stories. Ever since I was little, I would devour every spooky tale I could get my hands on. Ghosts, ghouls, haunted houses, you name it, I read it. So when my friends dared me to spend the night in Hollow Manor, I laughed. It was supposed to be the most haunted place in town, but I wasn't scared. I thought it would be just another story to tell. "Easy," I said, grabbing my sleeping bag. "No problem." I packed a flashlight, some snacks, and my favorite scary book. I was ready for an adventure. The front door creaked open. It sounded like a groan from deep within the house, as if it was waking up after a long sleep. Dust swirled in the air. The place looked like it hadn't been touched in years. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and the furniture was covered in a thick layer of dust. I stepped inside. Thump. My footsteps echoed in the empty hall. The air was cold and I could feel a chill run down my spine. The door slammed shut behind me. I jumped, my heart racing. It felt like the house was alive and it didn't want me to leave. I froze, my heart pounded. Then, knock, knock, knock. The sound echoed through the house, making my skin crawl. Someone was at the door. But who could it be? I was supposed to be alone. My mind raced with possibilities, each one more terrifying than the last. I crept up the stairs. Each step groaned under my weight. The air grew colder. I could hear whispers, but I couldn't make out the words. A child's laughter echoed from a room at the end of the hall. It sent chills down my spine. I had to see who was there. I pushed open the door. The laughter stopped. The silence that followed was deafening, almost as if the house itself was holding its breath. I hesitated for a moment, my hand still on the doorknob, before stepping inside. The room was empty except for a small rocking chair by the window. The air was thick with dust, and the faint smell of mildew lingered. The curtains fluttered slightly, though there was no breeze. It was moving slowly back and forth, creaking with each motion. I felt a chill run down my spine. I turned to leave, my heart pounding in my chest. And that's when I saw it. My breath caught in my throat and I froze in place, in an old, dusty mirror. The glass was so grimy that it barely reflected any light, but I could still make out the shape. A figure stood behind me. It was just a shadow at first, but then it started to take form. A tall shadow with glowing red eyes. They pierced through the darkness, staring directly at me. I felt an overwhelming sense of dread, unable to move or look away. I spun around, my heart pounding in my chest, the darkness pressing in on me from all sides. The air felt thick, almost suffocating, as if it was alive and watching me, but there was nothing there. Had I imagined it? The shadows seemed to dance on the walls, mocking my fear. Every creak of the floorboards sent shivers down my spine. I ran from the room down the stairs, my footsteps echoing in the emptiness. The house felt like a maze, each turn leading me deeper into the unknown. I had to get out. Panic surged through me as I reached the front door. My hands trembled as I fumbled with the lock. But the front door wouldn't open. It was locked. Desperation clawed at me. I could feel the presence getting closer, the air growing colder. I rattled the handle, pounded on the wood. "Help me!" I screamed, my voice echoing through the empty halls. The laughter started again, sinister and mocking. Closer now, right behind me. I turned slowly, my breath hitching in my throat, and came face to face with my own reflection in the glass. My eyes wide with terror, my face pale. I wasn't alone. The reflection seemed to move on its own, a sinister smile spreading across its face. The red eyes in the mirror blinked, and they weren't mine. They glowed with a malevolent light, watching me, waiting. I felt a cold hand on my shoulder, and I knew there was no escape.